We both went to the Marine Corps Marathon. Eric was the starter for it. I watched Eric jumping over the fence, running with people to the finish line, high-fiving people. You know, we just had no idea anything was going on because he never had any symptoms.
My sister and I ran the Marine Corps Marathon. Afterwards, we went to get lunch.
We came home, he went for a run, and after a while I started thinking, wow, you know, he should probably be back by now.
We saw a man on the ground, and we ran up, quickly assessed, and my sister called 911, got through, and we started CPR almost immediately.
Tim did CPR for a long time as an individual, and for them to come in then and take over and do CPR as long as they did was just incredible. I mean, they never, ever gave up.
Wow. I'm grateful to you for coming tonight so that we can honor you, because that's who we're honoring, all of you.
Representing the District of Columbia Fire and Emergency Medical Services teams, Lieutenant Holly O'Byrne and paramedic Ryan Trout.
A bystander was doing amazing CPR, and we began to work the cardiac arrest like we normally do.
You never know who it is and who's having the, arguably worst day of their life, and you show up and do your job. That's it.
We had the opportunity to really save someone's life who has saved so many of ours. We had no idea this was the Commandant of the Marine Corps.
Well, I was nervous. Being the first marathon, like I said, I've been an avid runner, but a marathon, that's a big deal.
When I had heard that there was somebody who went down at the Marine Corps Marathon, I assumed it was somebody who just thought, oh, I'm just gonna go run a marathon. To find out that it was an active duty Marine was just, I couldn't believe it. I just could not believe it.
I was told that it was around between mile 16 and 17. I just pulled off to the side, just like I had been. I remember it was a grassy median of some sort, and almost immediately, as soon as I got into the grass, I got lightheaded.
I was coming down this way, and I was on the complete opposite side of the street, and the runner that I had seen was somewhere in between this tree area.
It was like seconds after that, and I remember falling towards the ground, and I don't remember hitting the ground.
His respirations were terrible, pulse was extremely weak, so nurse mode kicks in, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I started screaming for a medic because I know it's not good.
We heard on the radio that someone had went to cardiac arrest in the middle of the marathon.
There currently is no police or fire with him. Another runner called it in. Getting an update. He does have a pulse now. However, he is unresponsive. All right, for that CPR, it should be bib number 13111, 38-year-old male.
One of the race medics came and brought water, so we're putting water on him, trying to cool him down as I'm doing compressions. Eventually somebody brings an AED and we get the AED on him.
There were a few people doing CPR. One of them happened to be a young lady. She did have a bib on, and then we continued CPR after we arrived.
They get his phone out of his pocket, and I see a picture of a little girl on his phone.
I had my phone on me, and on my phone, on my lock screen on my background, I have a series of photos of my daughters that cycle through. It was like random photos cycle through. And she told me that was what she saw.
And I thought, I don't know who this guy is or the relationship of this girl to him, but I have to do whatever I can to make sure that he makes it home, or, that whoever this person is, they're important enough to be on his phone screen. And that was important to me.
I feel like she was placed there for a reason, We obviously didn't know each other. She had no reason, no responsibility to respond, but she did. And so I think that made all the difference because, as I'm sure you know, the time between, cardiac arrest and when I finally get into the hospital, there's a lot of factors that could play into, delaying that, and every second matters.
I think it's remarkable that she's able to train for a marathon, show up on the day of, and then run 16 and a half miles of the 26, and then through that do CPR, which is also another physically strenuous task that we do until first responders arrived on scene. And then to see a little girl on the phone and continue to finish the race is commendable. We do have to take our hats off to Jenny.
I just knew that I had given all I could at the scene. And regardless of his outcome, I never thought I would know his outcome, that I was gonna finish my race and just dedicate that last bit to him and that little girl.
I'm extremely thankful for getting a second chance and being able to be there for them as long as it takes.
We got in the helicopter and took off in case we were going to be needed. As the call progressed, went from CPR to an AED arriving to return to spontaneous circulation under care of DC Fire, and we were able to land right there in the field.
Even as Marines, we're not invincible, right? We train hard, we pride ourselves in being part of the most challenging military force that there is. But we are still susceptible to these things that happen in life, these anomalies in our bodies.
It's an amazing feeling that, to be part of, helping somebody to have such a catastrophic incident occur in their life and to have such a great outcome and to be a part of that great outcome.
No matter how strong you think you are, we're all out here pushing ourselves.
Their efforts is what led to this outcome. It takes everybody.
I'm so grateful, but all the things that had to line up, it's just truly a miracle that Eric happened to be running right there at that time. They were coming back from dinner at that time. Tim is a certified CPR instructor. He's in town. He was in town for the marathon. Just the whole thing is just really crazy. So I guess it wasn't his time.
Being able to reunite with them, I think, is going to be really, really meaningful, especially since, aside from Jennifer, I don't know any of their faces. Like, I wasn't awake for it.
Just last week, the District of Columbia was named #1 in out-of-hospital cardiac arrest survival rates.
DC Fire EMS Department is the best fire EMS department in the country.
DC Fire and EMS had 72 cardiac arrest saves, where patients left the hospital neurologically intact. General Smith and First Sergeant Battersall were two of them.
Yes, you as well.
Great to meet you. You too.
These are their girls. Yes. Hi. So nice to meet you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 39th Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Eric Smith.
The more I learn, the more I see kindred spirits between our Marines and our brave first responders. And that word brave means something, because you are brave. Because who runs into a burning building? I mean, who does that? You do that. You do that. Who runs to the sound of gunfire? We both do that. So that we have in common. But there are two groups who would and have laid down their lives for their friends or complete strangers. I'm very proud to count DC Fire and EMS among the friends of our Corps. And not because of what you did for me, but because of what you do every day for anybody who needs help. I went in as a John Doe, and my life was saved with the same urgency that you would have given me if I wasn't wearing this uniform, and I know that. That's all that needs to be said about the character of every man and woman in this room. You make me proud to be an American. God bless DC Fire and EMS, and God bless America. Thank you.